This tale is, as all bard songs are, an adaptation. It may contain adult themes and strong language. Welcome, dear listeners, to Abyss.
Welcome to episode 4 of Abyss. Who are you? What are you? And, in light of what is tomorrow, what is your favourite heart-shaped object? Starting with Shiraz.
Hello, I'm Shiraz, and I play Ishidoro the rogue, the Dragonborn rogue. And I think, the Legend of Zelda popular mechanic was that they got the little heart pieces. I love heart pieces. It satisfies me to an unknown amount whenever I find one in a game that has heart pieces.
Okay. Wednesday?
Hi, I'm Wednesday, and I play the Tiefling Desolation, or she calls herself Layla. My favorite heart-shaped thing is actually in Korean dramas when they cross their fingers. You make I love you signs. That is my favorite heart-shaped thing, because I think it's really cool.
Oh. Next we have Freya.
Yeah, hello, I'm Freya, and I play Nal the half-orc. And because I don't have a romantic bone in my body, the first thing that popped into my mind was the literal human heart, because it is very important for pumping blood around in our body.
Fair enough. Tauno?
Hi, I am Tauno, and I'm playing the human warrior Rasthikos. And I'm slightly annoyed because Nal took my thing. So I would also say that the most
If you say a door,
thing is the literal. I said a door when we were talking about inventions.
I wish I said
heart-shaped door.
I've not seen one.
Sorry, carry on. What was your heart-shaped thing?
Oh, it was the human heart. I didn't come up with a second one. How many things are heart-shaped?
Veg.
Chocolate.
Yeah, I guess. I do like chocolate.
Weirdest answer I've ever heard from anyone when I said before what your favourite heart-shaped thing was the underside of a nose.
That's interesting.
A unique perspective.
I don't think many people have seen the underside of a nose up close.
Well,
Very
depends
short.
if you're short looking up.
Yeah, you're really short.
Yeah, I'm short, can confirm.
Yeah, same here.
Anyway,
I'm
Tom,
not, so
what was your answer?
I'll say chocolate.
Okay.
I will begrudgingly say chocolate, and that's the end.
And Dragon?
Hello, I am playing Nitra. She is a sorceress drow of a kind. My favourite heart-shaped thing. See, my initial thought was my actual heart, because it's the only thing that's not broken at the moment.
Ba, ba, ba.
So, I do have some heart-shaped boxes that I keep craftings in, so I'll go for that, because I'm really imaginative.
Okay. Susie is running late. She will probably be here at some point, so when she's here we will get her to do her intro. So, what happened last week?
So we got to a village of mushroom people, myconids, and then half of the myconids were extremely happy and having a rave party, calling each other fungi. and half of them were really scared. We found out that they were scared because they had mind melded with stool earlier, and all the images of torture made them feel really bad. Cyrus was missing. We tried to go find him in the garden, where we met a strange snail creature that kept asking us about which side of the wedding aisle we'd like to sit on. And he said that Philo was going to get married to something called Arumsius, which we eventually found out was the gigantic mushroom covering most of the Underdark. We found Cyrus nearly dying, and then Mercy killed him because his face was covered with mushrooms. And then we hurriedly made our way back and convinced the rest of the Myconids, the sane Myconids, to leave town.
Stool was very insistent that we had to go to Jimjar, the crazy gambling person that was in our chain gang. I don't know why we need to go to him, but Stool is incredibly insistent.
He said that as soon as he found out that Cyrus was dead.
Yeah.
And the other Myconids did also want to go to Blingden Stone. I believe that was the closest settlement.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
So, no mention of you wanting to set the place on fire?
I was just
What? That didn't happen.
I mean, we didn't succeed, so really.
Yeah, it doesn't count if we didn't actually set anything on fire.
They
Yeah.
did find that the dragon spunk liquid is very slightly acidic.
And poisonous, if ingested.
Yes, definitely poisonous to Myconids. And
I'm
then,
assuming all living things.
probably. Because, ew.
Yep.
And then...
Safely
we
go with
eventually
t-shirts that
left.
say, don't drink dragon spunk.
It's funny because I drew a really nice bottle for it. Like a old tiny
Yep.
Coca-Cola bottle.
And then 13 was convinced that she could make a fire. And then she ended up walking through the green smoke from really creepy cauldrons. And when challenged, just screamed that she was lost, and then we all just ran.
That was because she was blind.
Because she decided to walk through the green smoke.
Yes. Minor setbacks aside, we decided to leave before shit went
Very
down.
quickly.
Well, at that point, the sane Myconids were heading out, so it definitely seemed best to just get the hell out of there.
So it's just like a Moses scene where we're leading like a bunch of Myconids to this place.
You have left separately of the Myconids for the moment.
They're going northwest, and
Oh, okay.
Stool is dragging us in a direction.
Okay.
So, you head north, and 13 is currently resting on Nal's shoulder for the moment, as you all continue to head north following this tiny mushroom, who's leading you up this sort of very gloopy hill of grey mud. And as you get to the top, it's like a sort of plateau for the sort of foreseeable future. So you begin, as you would do, just walking along the plateau next to this small mushroom who's taking his time, seems to try and rush a little bit, but then gets tired and slows down again. So you're basically matching a bit normal speed with him. The ground begins to rumble underfoot. What do you do?
Is it a kind of rumbling that we recognize?
Is it like the same when the lake creature came out?
It just feels like something is moving underfoot.
Since it feels like something's moving, can we feel the direction it's moving in?
It's like something very large has like rumbled underground straight below you, and the ground is not very stable. Can everyone roll me a d20, please?
Oh, come on.
Well, fuck.
The ground below you gives way, and you all plummet through the ground about maybe 30 feet into a very deep pool of water. Those of you that got a relatively decent score in that, which is Rasthikos, Layla, Ishidoro, yep, just the three of you, noticed that there was some sort of burrowing creature that seemed to burrow very close to the ground, which caused where you were standing to be delicate enough that you fell through it. So you're now landing in this pool of water. You see a sort of shale beach in front of you. It's reasonably okay lit. Got a couple of like luminescent plants and stuff so you can see, but you're now all sort of bobbing in this very green tinged water, staring at this beach. What do you do?
Get out of the water.
Yeah,
Swim
swim for the
towards
shore.
beach.
Yeah.
Nal is treading water and just making sure to keep 13 above it as she swims towards it.
Therese shall follow the rest out of the water.
Okay. I imagine one of you has grabbed stool and dragging him with you.
Yes.
Okay.
He is attached to me. I shall look after him. Because obviously that's what the drow would do.
So you get to this beach, and ahead of you is an entrance, a sort of like side entrance to what looks like a corridor, and above it there seems to be this massive carved symbol. It's what you would describe as flowing.
I'll roll some lore. Though if it's something that's written, I wouldn't be able to read it, so...
It looks like a symbol. The symbol could either be water, it could be waves, it could be tentacles, it could just be a very stylish letter. You're not really sure. It's a very bizarre symbol.
Could I do an arcana check to see if it is a magical symbol?
Yes. It is not magical.
So you said we fell down and
Yep.
we fell into the lake, and there was something that was burrowing that made the ground unstable. Can we see traces of what, like how it was burrowed? Like
You look up and you see by the hole you fell through, there was like about maybe half-meter circle of what looks like something very large is burrowed through very close to the surface.
But it looks like it's grooved, like it's got grooves on the side, or it's
Yep.
just small marks.
It looks grooved, so it looks like some sort of giant worm.
Okay, and is this particular tunnel we're looking at, does it look similar?
This particular tunnel looks like a building that's been buried under the earth and forgotten about.
Okay.
So, as you look in through this archway, the symbol above it, to the left there's a long corridor, to the right there's a room with what looks like a gigantic fountain. What do you do?
I walk forward to take a look at the fountain.
Okay.
Maybe see if there's some clean water there.
Okay. You walk up to the fountain itself. Everything looks very clean. The fountain itself is massive. It sort of dominates the room. It's about 3 or 4 times the size of everything else in the room. It's completely massive. The water itself seems, again, a sort of slightly green tinged, like the water outside. And there seems to be a couple of scrape marks around the edge of the fountain. Like someone's fingernails had been dragged into the fountain.
Can I use a nature check to see if it's like more claw marks, or more, is it more humanoid fingernails?
Yep, nature, roll. You believe
That is
that
my
it must just be
second
big
one.
creatures. It can't have been human, you know. What kind of human would be dragged into a fountain? I mean,
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's just sort of like, I sort of cup a hand out into the water to sort of cup some of it into my hands so I can sniff it to see if it smells bad.
it just smells like water. When you sniff it, it just got a slight stronger algae smell to it.
Therese
Yeah.
would like to roll demonology to see if any of the marks could indicate demons.
Mm-hmm. Nope,
Oh.
they're not demonic. They don't
Okay.
look like demon claws marks anyway.
Fair.
You
So-
notice at this point, Stool seems lost in himself, like he's quite quiet considering everything else, and he seems to have a sort of faraway look in his eyes.
I'm going to ask him what's wrong.
He turns to you and smiles in his sort of inane way, and he seems back to his happy self. He just seems to have been distracted by something.
Okay. Can I take like a look around, like a proper look around where we are?
Sure. You just sort of have a look around the room. There seems to be like carvings on the walls. Again, that symbol carved several times, and there seems to be a couple of other symbols and terminologies and stuff written there.
Okay. Can I make any of it out?
Roll me literacy.
So, did we take a look at the fountain again?
You're looking at the walls at the moment. The only thing you can make out seems to be gibberish. It seems to reference something called Glabagul.
Glabagul. Okay. So I'm going to just turn and ask the group, does anybody know what a Glabagul is?
And I will do a demonology check again.
Nal
Can
just
I-
shrugs and goes, a kind of dish?
It's not demonic.
Can I roll lore
Yep.
to see?
Again, it's not demonic. It's not something you've heard of.
Well, since the water didn't smell too bad, just a bit of algae, and I was gonna drink some since it's probably been a while
Yep.
since I've had a proper chat. Get a bit of water from
You drink the
thirsty.
water. The water's fine.
So you said that there were claw marks going into the pond, and there's no sign of a body or any sort.
Nope. Water seems crystal clear.
Can I follow the claw marks and see if it takes me somewhere? Like just run fingers?
They just seem to be around the edge of the pool. You notice there are a couple leading into the room on the floor and on the wall. There just seems to be a couple of these, like... It's like claw marks, like something was trying to stop something, and it seems to lead towards the pool, but there's nothing in the pool at the moment.
Shall we all go to the corridor? The one with the symbol above?
So
Sure.
Might as well.
You walk into the corridor. The corridor itself is triangle shaped. It's quite strange. It's got like 3 walls rather than, a floor and like a left and a right wall rather than all 4. And at the other side of the entrance at the corridor, it goes down about another 20 meters, and then there's this strange like metal panel on the wall that covers the entire wall.
How tall is the corridor?
It's about 2.5 meters tall.
Okay, so there's plenty of room.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of room. It's just very strangely angled.
Yeah.
What
again-
kind of metal is it?
As you tap it, it begins to move back against you.
Oh wow.
And the floor and the walls are all covered with this slight sort of greyish slime.
Oh god.
Wonderful.
Can I taste the slime?
Again, if you
Oh.
want.
I will taste the slime.
Roll
Does anything?
nature to see what effect it has on you.
I don't have any nature, so it's a straight up roll. Nope.
You feel slightly sick.
Like nauseous sick.
Yep.
Okay.
You feel like there's something in your stomach that's like slowly moving around like a slug, and it just feels really uncomfortable and quite nauseous.
I relay this information to everybody, saying that I think the slime, my assumption is that it's been left here by something.
You ate the slime.
Yeah, Rasthikos takes a step back from Ishidoro when he tells him that.
Did your mom not teach you to not eat strange things off of the floor and walls?
Well, yes, but I'm not very good at listening.
I am going to run my hand across the wall again with the metal thing on it because it moved and that was quite cool. So
Okay, are you putting pressure on it when you move your hand across, or are you just doing it lightly?
no, very lightly.
Okay. It feels like sort of very cool metal, really. It feels really out of place.
Can I roll something to try and figure out sort of what it is? Like maybe Arcana? Like is it magical if it's out of place?
It would be dungeoneering.
Dungeoneering, okay.
So you tap on the wall and get a very thin metallic thing, and then you gently push against the wall, and the wall begins to move. And the more you push, the more the wall begins to like just push like a door forward, kind of like a reverse cat flap, and just slowly reveals a corridor behind it as you push it to the ground.
Everybody come here!
Ooh. What can we see through it?
You just see another corridor with another what looks like metal plate about maybe another 20 meters down the corridor.
No, let's go for that one. What do I have to do to check for trap? Is it awareness?
It'd be awareness or dungeoneering.
I could do dungeoneering, if that is useful.
I can do some awareness check to see if I spot any traps while we go in.
Okay.
Okay. There are no traps at the moment. At this point, Stoll looks at you very confused and asks you what you're doing.
Like when I'm looking for traps,
Mm-hmm.
I tell him that I'm looking for traps and seeing if there's anything that might hurt him.
Oh! He seems quite intrigued that he'd never have thought of that.
So, do you know this place, or have you heard of it? Any of your mind melding talk about this place?
He shakes his head and says he's never been out this way.
Okay. But do you know if we are going in the right direction?
He again just sort of looks at you as if like, I'm not really sure how I would answer that, and then seems to be a sort of faraway look in his eye.
I think that's his default state.
Well, he is a mushroom.
Yes. It's fair.
So you reach the next metal plate. Are you going to just push this one again?
Yeah.
Okay. As you all come into this room, you notice that the one you pushed slowly returns to where it was before.
Oh.
And as you begin to push this one, again, it just, like a reverse cat flap, you just slowly be able to push it to the ground, and you all sort of walk through, and then it begins to slide back up to where it was.
Can we see a mechanism for this?
Doesn't seem to have mechanism, just seems to be a very strange door design. You notice that the backside of this door doesn't have any slime on it, though.
Yeah, if I try to push it again now after it closed up behind us, does it open again?
Yep, it just opens the other direction.
Okay,
Okay.
so it is like a reverse cat flap.
That's okay.
As you're sort of looking around this room, you see that after about 5 meters, this room goes into white and black coloured tiles on the floor and still seems transfixed by them.
White and
Dude.
black tile.
Whatever you do, don't step on them until it's safe.
Stoll turns to you and looks and says, Erik says the white ones are safe.
Who's Erik?
He's my friend.
Okay, but where do you know him from?
He talked to me. He told me that white is the safe one after I mentioned the traps.
No.
Where is Erik?
And he has that sort of faraway look in his eye again. After a couple of minutes, he goes, Erik is omnipresent. And he smiles.
Alright.
Can you ask Erik what this place is?
Again, he looks distant. And a couple of minutes later, he goes, Erik says this is the magical temple
I see.
of slime.
Of slime.
The magical temple of slime.
Let's see if Eric's trustworthy.
Yeah,
Is
Nal is
there-
going to step forward and step on a white tile.
Okay. You step on a white tile, nothing happens.
Is there anything else in the room other than just this tiled floor?
Nope.
Is there a pattern to the floor?
It's a sort of check white-black pattern.
I take out my short sword and I kind of hold it up against my arm so like it's hidden against my sleeve. Just ready but not visible.
I'm going to crouch down and see if I can tell any difference between the black and the white tiles.
Roll engineering. You notice that the black tiles seem to sit maybe about 2 or 3 millimeters above the white tiles.
So possibly on top of a mechanism of some kind.
Well, it seems Eric's trustworthy. The white tiles seem safe.
Let's go then.
Okay. So stepping only on white tiles.
I gently press on a white tile before any of us step on it.
Oh, I already
Someone's
have.
been standing on
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine.
That's fine, we're all dead.
You walk up to the next door, which again is another one of these flaps. Are you wanting to just push the flap down?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, you push the flap down and you walk through into the next door. At this point on the floor, again, there is black and white tiles. And Stoll looks at you and says, Erik says, and he, again, there's a faraway look in his eyes. The black tiles are safe.
Okay.
And if you stand on the white ones, you will fall into spikes.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Can you thank Erik for us?
He sort of gleefully seems to go back into his own little world for a couple of seconds.
wait. Is that not the opposite of what he just said?
No, black safe, white spikes.
Okay.
Yes.
The last one, white was safe, this time black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like it.
I
And then
think
I
we should
step
trust
forward
him.
and step on the black tile.
Sneaky.
So who's going first?
Nal already went.
Niall's in front.
Oh,
Nal is just charging ahead as soon as she can.
Yep.
Yeah. I trust Erik, so I'm going to follow up.
Yeah, Nal thinks Erik sounds trustworthy, so hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. You cross along the black tiles. Again, nothing happens, and you come to another door. What are you going to do?
Before we open this door, I'm going to give it the cat test, which is like push it a couple of times to see if there is anything behind it.
The door? The
And
door,
then-
the,
yeah,
the door
and-
just seems to sort of wobble, like a sort of
Okay.
sheet of metal would.
Is there slime this time?
There hasn't been slime since you came into the...
Since that first one?
Yeah.
Is it unusual for a magical temple of slime to not have any slime?
I'm okay with magical temple. I'm not okay with slime.
Fair.
Can we ask Erik for more information since he seems very forthcoming?
Stoll looks again quite far away and then comes back and says, What do you want to ask him?
Well, are we in danger?
He again looks away and comes back. Not as long as you have friend Erik.
Okay.
Okay, that's encouraging.
Make sure you thank him again. And then go through the door.
Okay. You push the door through. To your right this time, there is a sort of archway that leads to another fountain. And straight ahead of you is another metal door.
Can I take a look at the fountain and see if there's any scratch marks and stuff on this one.
As you walk into the room, you notice this fountain is different. At the edge, there seems to be like slimes like climbing over the edge of the fountain and just plopping onto the floor and then slowly dragging themselves towards a very small exit on the far left of the room.
But they aren't like paying attention to us.
No, and as you look to the fountain itself, it's got a very strong whirlpool in it. And above the whirlpool there seems to be the statue of, it looks like a kind of deep gnome with his hands outstretched.
Oh.
But he's got very distinct features, like he's got very big ears, very big nose. His clothes look distinct, and on this plaque below it says Erik.
Oh, Stu, did you start hearing Erik as soon as we came close to this place, or have you heard him before?
Stool tells you he only heard of Erik when he hit the water.
Fair.
Wow, that's really interesting.
So I'm not going to disturb this pond of slimes. Seems like business as usual here.
Okay, so what are you
So
going to
we
do?
I think if we're not going to do anything about the slime fountain, I guess we just push on the next door.
Okay, you go to push on the next door just doesn't open.
No.
Shit.
Does it seem like something up top is like stopping it from open, or
It
is
seems
it
like
completely...
it's locked.
Oh. Is there a mechanism?
Yeah.
Nothing that you can see around the edges, but if you rolled engineering you might be able to find something.
I will have a look as well.
Can I use my engineering my tinkering, I mean?
Yep.
Take a look.
You figure out that there must be a switch or something stopping this door from opening.
Huh.
Could I have a further look at the statue, at the gnome?
You can, yes.
Can I work out anything else from it?
You
Probably.
look at the statue. You notice that all the detail seems to be in the face, but there's no detail in the rest of the body.
Interesting. Stool, does Erik know who this is?
Again, still has the faraway look in his eye, then he comes back a couple of seconds later and says, "That's the fake Erik!"
Oh, I see. And we know it's the fake Erik because...
It's made of stone!
What is Erik made of?
Again, he has the faraway look in his eye. A couple of seconds later he comes back saying, "He is made of magic!"
I see. Thank you. And say
Is
thank
he-
you to Erik for me.
Is Erik in this place? Like, is he somewhere beyond the locked door? Could he open the door for it with his magic?
Again, still has a faraway look in his eye and comes back and goes, "Erik is omnipresent!
But he can't open the door.
He knows how to open the door.
How does one open the door?
Erik knows."
Is that Erik knows, or is it something to do with his nose?
Still just looks very confused and just said, "He just keeps saying Erik knows."
I see.
I think your instinct is right.
May I roll Arcana to find out about Erik? Like if there's maybe like some kind of law or something like that related to some kind of magical creature and this temple and whatever.
Sure. There's no lore mentioned anywhere in this place you've been about an Erik apart from this statue.
Would I be able to identify what spell Erik is using? Like, I know that the Myconids have like a certain range at which they can communicate and hear us. So, is Erik using some kind of a spell? Would I roll Arcana to try and identify?
You could roll and see, yes. As far as you could tell, there's no sense of spells being used apart from the one that seems to be summoning all the slimes. Erik must seem to be able to be communicating psionically.
Well, hearing all this talk about Erik's nose and the statue, Nal is just going to set 13 down on the floor and just going to... Can she reach the statue of Erik? Going to walk forward and just sort of tweak the nose?
Okay. You pull on the nose of Erik, the nose moves down and you hear a sort of rumbling sound and then a click.
Yay!
Does the door open, or is it something else?
Then I'll push on the door again after I hear the click.
As you push on the door opens. This time, once you push it down, it stays flat. It doesn't pop back up.
Huh.
Okay. And what's in the next sort of room? If I take a look just inside without going into it.
The next room is almost like an amphitheatre. It's massive. In the middle of the room, there were 5 statues.
Okay.
And they all seem to be
Right.
holding an object and holding an object towards the middle of the room.
I turn to Stool and I just ask him, Stool, Does Erik say it's safe to go into the room?
Again, faraway look, and then he comes back with, Erik says it is safe. He is a mighty, mighty magical.
Okay, I step into the room. I want to check those statues out. I want to see what they're holding.
Okay. You walk up to the statues. They've all seem to be made of some sort of green marble.
Okay.
They have all got a cloth blindfold on them. One of them is holding a shovel, one of them's holding a scroll, one of them's holding what looks like some kind of map, one holds a goblet, and the other holds a set of scales. There's what looks like a door carved into the floor.
Can I detect any arcana specifically around the statues?
Just roll and see.
No, because I can't roll anything above a 10 tonight.
But while you were looking for arcana, you sort of sneeze, and as you sneeze, you sort of brush something off the door. And as you go down and start sweeping the dust off the door, it reveals an inscription on the door.
Can I read it?
Yep. It says in big letters, dig. The middle is the key to good health. Well, at this point, Susie, do your character introduction.
Hi, I'm Susie. I play 13 the Goblin.
And what is your favourite heart-shaped object?
My favourite heart-shaped object is the traditional bottom.
Fantastic.
Wow,
What the
nice.
heart's meant to be.
Very nice.
I have just read something that is on a trapdoor.
Kind of a
Yes.
stone slab.
Okay, but what it reads on it is dig, the middle is the key to good health.
So the statues are also holding the following thing: a map, a shovel, a goblet, scales, and a scroll.
Dig, the middle would be the shovel. Sure.
Yes, but we are somewhat
Rasthikos-
suspicious.
Rasthikos will walk up to the statue with the shovel and try and see if the shovel can be removed from the statue.
Do a strength roll. You wrench the shovel from the statue, breaking the hand off the statue.
Whoops.
But you have the shovel, which is basically a marble shovel. It's quite heavy.
I guess it could be used as a club, so I'll note it down under weapons.
Sure.
The middle is the key to good health. What's the item in the middle?
In the middle of the statues is just the door.
So no, there's like statues in an arrangement.
They're
What's
like in a
the middle?
circle all around
Yeah,
this
what's
door.
the middle one holding? Like if we start at the shovel.
If you start at the shovel, then it goes in order: shovel, scroll, map, goblet, scales.
So the map.
So hang on, these statues are all in a circle.
Yes.
What's in the very middle of the circle?
The
The
sort of
trapdoor.
stone slab.
And that's what we're trying to open up.
It's what we're trying to work out.
Well, this is the only way out from here. Like this is the only other door we've found in this place.
There's no
right?
other exit from this room apart from the way you came.
Stool, does Erik know the answer to this?
Still has a very far away look in his eyes, and then comes back saying, "Yes, Erik is clever."
Would Erik tell you so you can tell us?
And again he looks away and comes back and says, "Yes. Do you want to know?"
Yes, please.
He sort of scrabbles to the bottom of the statue and he tries to start. It's like he's trying to climb the statue with the map on it, but he's too short.
I pick him up and... Okay, where is it you're going?
I need to go to her head, please.
Okay, I lift him up so he can get as close to the head as he needs.
Okay. He goes to the blindfold of the statue and pulls it off, revealing two very large red gems beneath the blindfold.
Ah,
He tries to get one of them out and he says, "I can't get it to come out."
Here, I'll help, and I use my short sword to try and like wedge them out.
Okay. After a couple of sort of strange attempts, you eventually get one of the eyes out, and he then asks you, "Can you take me over to the goblet, please?"
yes, of course. You wander over. There you go.
And he holds it above the goblet and he says, Do you want Erik to tell you what the actual answer was, or do you want me just to open the door?
Well, the answer would be nice.
Just for peace of mind.
Okay. And still points towards the word dig and says, "The middle is the key. The eye."
The eye. God damn it.
Ah.
And
Very
he
good.
drops the gem into the goblet, which you hear a rumbling sound, and the slab begins to move back.
Ah.
Erik is very smart. Tell him he's incredibly smart.
But
I'll just
also, thank you, Stoll. It is greatly appreciated.
So, with this riddle solved, Rasthikos will look down at the marble shovel in his hand. It is quite heavy, and I mean, when I took it from the statue, the hands came off. Are they still attached to the shovel?
The hand is still attached to the shovel, yes. Like halfway up the shovel.
Yeah.
So you do have a marble shovel now.
Yeah.
You have the medieval equivalent of a nightstick.
Kind of.
It should be quite useful.
Okay.
Is anyone still unarmed?
Yeah, I'm unarmed.
Here, I'll hand it over.
You're gonna hand me this marble shovel. Okay,
It's really heavy shovel.
Yeah, no, I can handle it. I'm strong. Cool. Thank you very much. As I heft it from hand to hand, trying to get like the best kind of, feel for having a marble shovel.
So, can I ask, while we've been travelling through these particular... Is it a temple? Dungeons?
Yes.
Temple. So it's like a maze-like temple. And it's a temple of slime?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Apparently.
Could I possibly do some sort of religion check or something for whether or not 13 recognises any of this, knows who it was built by, has she heard rumours?
Yep.
Do you want religion or lore? Or...
Yeah, religion or lore, either one. You, again, same thing that happened earlier, is you look at all the sort of inscriptions on the walls and everything, and all you can discover is what's either gibberish or the name Glabagul.
Glabagul. Has she heard of the name Glabagul?
Stool, can you ask Erik about Glabagul?
Stool stops for a couple of minutes and then comes back with, Erik doesn't know Glabagul. He's never heard of it.
Okay. Thank you anyway.
If Eric's never heard of Glabagul, how does he know how to do the puzzles?
This might not be Glabagul's temple.
But there's Glabagul markings over.
There are.
Well, we should just probably find Erik, because I'm pretty sure he's in here.
I think so.
Okay. When the slab's moved away, it looks like it's a drop down of maybe about 8 feet to the sort of stone platform below.
Do we have rope?
You can put rope down if you want.
Tie it to one of the statues. That seems most solid.
Yes, that seems sensible.
Okay. So you tie your rope to the statue and you begin to make your way down through the hole. Again, it's literally an 8-foot drop. It's not very exciting. It's literally just onto a sort of small stone corridor.
Is it the same kind of corridor that we've been traveling?
It's the same kind of corridor.
So what's behind
Only
us
this
and
one
what's
is
in front?
incredibly dusty.
Okay. I turn to Rasthikos and I'm like, good grief.
When you look to your right after you've climbed down the hole, you see that there are slimes slowly running along the middle of the sort of corridor itself, but they're running along the same channel, and then they appear to go through a small door on the left.
Maybe Erik is Glabagul.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Possibility.
Possible?
Are we freeing Glabagul from his predicament?
We might be, but so far...
We don't know, really, so far.
And I remember, like, when I rolled demonology for the magical letter above the tunnel, I didn't get anything vaguely demonic off it. Like, it didn't seem like something that was, right?
Yeah. Yes, it says less concerning, if anything is not concerning under here.
Well, we have to get out of here one way or another, and this is our only way forward.
Also, Erik has been quite helpful, but...
He has. You would definitely have ended up in a spike trap if it were not for Erik.
What's on the opposite side of this slime door? Like, where all the slimes are going?
The slimes just seem to be going through a small door about maybe, but the same as before, but maybe a sort of 30 centimeter door. It's not...
What's on our left when we descend?
On your left seems to be a corridor leading to another, what looks like metal door.
Okay. Can I just roll first traps again with awareness? This time, watch as I roll a 1 and check nothing. Close enough.
There are no traps. You walk up to the door, tap it a few times, and it seems to be the same as the other metal doors. You could just push it.
Right. I push it open.
Okay.
Is it dark down here?
It's quite dark down here, but you have Stool, who is a light source.
And most of us have dark vision.
Except for Rasthikos. The Rasthikos. Oh.
I'm basically straight behind Stool at all times.
Right.
I was going to say, do we not just have a bit of string tied to him that he can hold on to?
So, what's past the door?
Into the next chamber seems to be, there's like an altar in the middle of the room. There's a door on the far side, and on the altar itself, again, seems to have an inscription.
Okay, is it similar? Can we read it?
You can read it. It says, "Of bloodiest fears and lurking mists, the end comes with the simplest twist.
Bloodiest fears and...
Lurking mists, the end comes with the simplest twist."
The simplest twist is a betrayal, right?
Possibly. It is not an encouraging message, or possibly riddle.
Can we move the altar, like twist,
Yes.
going by the same logic?
The altar seems to be stone.
Like it's
Just a sort of
Can't
stone
move.
slab.
so it can't be moved. Like if you push one side.
If you really shunt one side, you probably could move it, yes.
Rasthikos, do you mind giving us a hand here?
Yes, I will try to help
Okay.
Okay.
with my
Do-
very, very inconsiderable strength.
Should I just put the shovel down and then help?
You all kind of push together and you eventually start pushing the altar round in circles. Nothing happens.
Okay, so nothing happened. What a shot.
You were saying that the slimes came into the room
Mm-hmm.
through a door. Where are the slimes in the room? You said there's an altar.
The slimes, they're sort of doing their own thing in the corridor. They seem to be going through a smaller passage.
So they're not coming into the room with the
No.
altar?
No.
13 wants to go and try and have a look through the door that the slimes are going through without being slime.
Okay. You notice the slimes, they're almost like cube slimes, and they seem to fit into this tiny corridor almost exactly, and then sort of push their ways along. You can't really see anything because it just seems to always be blocked by sort of greyish slime.
Can I just confirm that the slime that I tasted is the same as this stuff?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
How do you confirm that?
Well, I just
More
looked
Taste it
slime.
again!
I don't want to bite
Again.
more slime because it'll make me sick. But I'm just looking at it and comparing sight. Just a sight check.
Oh gosh.
So is this slime hostile? Have we established that or not?
No,
they don't.
it
They don't pay attention to it.
has completely ignored us.
Has Ishidoro's stomach taken damage?
No, but he still feels like there's something roaming around in it.
Could
I'll have to
13
go.
fit through
Cool.
the door the slimes are going through?
Possibly,
Think-
but you'd be kind of stuck once you went in.
Well, I'm just going to say, while these guys are all trying to figure out the altar, 13 stood there looking very interested in where the slimes are going.
As you try and move closer to the door to put your thing in, one of the slimes pushes through you, and your hand begins to corrode as it pushes through you, and then moves to the side. It's like the slimes are made of some sort of acidic jelly.
So if she shakes it off, will she still be burning, or...
If she shakes it off, she'll still have a slight burn on the back of her hand, but it won't be too serious.
Well,
But
she
the
has screamed
slimes are
very
definitely some
loudly
sort
when
of
this has
acidic.
happened. She's not used to pain. She worked in a library.
We all
So
run
she's
over
going to
concerned.
scream and shake her hand. The slime bit me!
Just
Dude is
stop
now
messing
here.
with them.
Scream.
Oh.
Run over, just pick 13 up. It's sort of under the arms.
Yep,
Just whoop it up,
like
right
you do
up.
with a panda.
Yeah.
13's holding her hand out, going, "Leg it for my hand!" Owie, owie.
And we pour some water over her hand.
Yep.
There we go.
Doesn't have much effect, but yeah.
Should help dilute the acid at least.
Stupid slimes. Just wanted to see where they were going.
I still can't make head or tails of this thing. As much as I want to ask Erik, I want to also figure it out.
What else is in the room apart from the altar?
It's a completely bare room.
If I
Look at
start
this.
knocking on the walls, do they sound hollow?
You knock on all the walls sound solid.
Is there anything around the altar? Like any markings, scripts, signs of dried blood?
Nope. Seems, if anything, clean.
Just dusty like the hallway, but sort of also clean. Let's phone a friend. Let's talk to her.
We do literally have a friend we can phone.
Okay.
What does
Anyone?
Erik think about this room?
Stool again looks far away, and he comes back and he goes, Erik doesn't know. Have you looked at the door?
The door we came in, or the door that's beyond this one?
Again, slight glaze, and then comes back and says, Eric's not sure.
Okay, that
Go
is
take a
fine.
Go take
Okay.
a look at the door.
When we looked at the door, it mentioned bloodiest fears and lurking mists. The end comes with the simplest twist.
There's a door handle on it.
There is a door handle on it.
13's going to twist the door handle.
The door opens.
Oh my gosh, should we really be doing this?
Well,
13
it's
goes
done
through
now.
the door.
It's done now, so...
The outside air hits you. It's definitely outside the temple now.
Okay, well, that
Is it
the end.
misty?
What
In front-
about the fears and mists?
In front of you, you just a set of stairs leading upwards.
Okay.
You just gonna climb the stairs?
Yes.
13.
Yeah.
I would like to do an Arcana check before we go heading off somewhere that might include mists and nasty, evil things.
Yeah,
I'm going
may
to-
I do
I'm
a
going to
demonology
die.
check?
I'm going to die of stomach poisoning soon anyways.
Food poisoning.
It's fine. It's probably less acidic than your stomach.
Yes.
Well, I would assume, with you
Well,
being
I'll eventually
a
poop
green
it out.
dragonborn.
I'll eventually poop
Just
it
think
out.
of it like having a very strong chili.
Oh, okay. I'm just burping all over the place. Jeez.
Mhm.
Oh, jeez.
You
Can I
rolled
ask, can I
above
do
a
a
10.
demonology check?
On...
On just like heading through that door. I mean, that was quite ominous. Like, I don't.
Okay. The doors seems to have like just opened fully and have locked in place. No, there's nothing demonic about it.
Okay.
So we smell air that is fresher.
It's
Like-
fresher. It's kind of like the air that you smelt before you fell into the hole.
13
Okay.
just starts going up the stairs.
Yeah,
follow.
Nal is following.
As you get to the top of the stairs, you
Is
see
there lots of stairs?
there are lots of stairs. Maybe about 100
Halfway up
stairs.
the stairs, 13's going to get tired and want carried.
Yeah, she just gets picked up like under one arm, like a rug.
That's fine. I am probably carrying stool still.
No, you can't. I mean, Rasthikos needs him to see.
No.
If Triz walks along with stool, Rasthikos will follow along once he's left behind in the dark.
You mean that if I carry stool, I turn into the Pied Piper?
Yes.
Specifically for Rasthikos.
That is hysterical.
Okay. So, what do we see at the top
As
of the
you come to the top of the stairs, you look down, and ahead of you, there seems to be, in the sort of not complete distance, but about half a day's travel, you see a group of very stone-looking buildings, and Stool starts sort of excitedly telling you that that's Blingdenstone.
Is that where Jim Jar is?
He tells you that is indeed where friend Jim Jar is.
Great. Well, make sure you thank Erik before we leave this place. His help has been noted.
Stool looks far away and then comes back and says, Erik says, you are welcome, and thank you too.
Okay.
I,
What a
Why
polite-
does Erik thank us?
I am so suspicious now.
To be honest, maybe we'll find out more in those stone buildings. Somebody has to know what.
I'm hoping that someone here will be able to tell us what's going on, because I'm just hoping that we have not released something horrendous. But nothing felt horrendous.
Well, time will tell. I put my sword away.
Doesn't seem like anything bad happened, so no need to worry.
Nothing bad happened! Look at my hand!
Why, you touched the
You
thing.
did it to yourself.
No, the slime did it! Nasty slime.
You
Mm,
put your
bad
hand
side.
in the slime.
Mean to say if you see some slime, you're not going to poke it.
No,
No,
You ate the slime.
Ugh.
we wouldn't, because you already
that's
did.
different. That was for sign.
You monster.
13. Do not do anything Ishidoro does.
Okay. Why?
Because
I
he's
imagine-
stupid.
So you travel for the next about half a day, and you eventually come into the edge of Blingdenstone. Stool seems to be sort of panically looking around and then sort of pointing in directions. And as you follow him, eventually you come to a very ramshackle inn, which seems to have... It looks like it's already got quite a seedy reputation just from the sight of it outside. And Stool turns to you and says, Jim Jar's in there!
Okay, we shall.
I walk into the inn. I swing the doors as wide as possible. Does everyone shut up inside?
Yep, the piano player starts playing and everything.
I drop my face into my hand. Such dramatics are what get people killed in the Underdark.
I pat Trace on the back and then follow in right after, slamming the doors open.
13's like, I've never been in a Big Jobs Tavern before!
So you walk into this inn, and at the back table there seems to be a couple of people playing what looks like some sort of primitive version of cards. As an argument seems to sort of grumpily break out, immediately you hear Jim Jar go, "Ah, there's my friends there!" And as he does this, all the sort of people he's playing cards with seem to sort of go, as in they've kind of like, we would like garrote you to death, but you do seem to have quite a lot of company. So they sort of back away, and Jim Jar quite contentedly comes up and says, "Hello friends, how are you?"
Good.
I can't remember what his voice is like. I'll probably hate doing this in the future, but yeah.
Oh, well, I suspect we're doing slightly better than you were, if you needed that.
I had a bet that I would win, don't worry.
I see.
At this point, Stool is bouncing up and down, and you hear Jim Jar go, "Yes, little one. What? What happened to Zareth?"
Oh,
Yeah.
I killed him.
Yeah.
Well,
Something bad happened at the... You know what? Is there anywhere we can talk that is not the middle of a tavern?
Sure. Come to my table. And he takes you to the back table where the rest of them have all left grumpily, leaving a small pile of gold on the table. And as you sort of sit around the table, again, Stool starts jumping up and down in front of Jim Jar, and he's like, Yes, little one, yes, what? Fine. And he reaches into the middle table, takes a single gold coin, hands it to Stool, and says, "There you go." And Stool seems very content.
Does he like the shiny?
I had a bet with him that he would die before Zareth.
Makes complete sense.
He won a single gold coin off me.
But he is happy.
How many gold coins are sitting in the middle of the table?
About 50.
Not anymore.
So, see when Jim Jar's really distracted?
You're gonna try and pocket some of the coins.
Yeah, they're shiny. She likes shinies. And like, even if there's like cards left on the table, she's just gonna like take a couple of cards when people aren't looking.
Fair enough. Jim Jar doesn't seem to be that boy. He seems to care more about being able to bet than cares what way he actually wins.
Okay, well, I just roll for how much she takes then.
Yep. Roll me a D30. See how many you take.
D30.
How many you sort of shift into your pockets. Take 3.
Yeah.
3 on a D30.
3 gold coins out of 30.
You look at all the coins and you go, no, not that one.
Not that one.
It's
want the
not
one
shiny enough.
I want that one.
How many
So-
cards does she get?
Nah, you take about 2 or 3 cards. 2 or 3 cards and 3 gold coins. It's not that much, but you seem quite content with them because they're the shiniest coins there. And Stool is very happy with his coin. And at this point, Jim Jar goes, "Well, you know, it's good to see you again, but you could have at least told me what..." And then he sort of stares at Stool and goes, "Who the fuck is Erik?"
Eric's Gabagool!
Well, you see, on our way here, we landed through a temple of magical slime.
And
And
then Stool started talking with someone called Erik.
who told us how to get through the temple without setting off any of the traps. But we have no idea who Erik is, or what was actually going on that he was being helpful to us.
Have you
Other
heard-
than Stool is very good at getting people to help him.
Stool is currently
should do
like cuddling his 1 gold coin that's about the size of his chest.
Wow.
Horrible.
Is he that small?
He's not that small, but the coin seems to be quite big.
Okay.
Cool.
I asked Jim Jar if he knows where Gabagool is.
Gabagool.
Gabagool. It's a fairy story, isn't it?
Oh.
Let's hear it.
The things you tell your kids to stop them going playing on their own. Some sort of gigantic cube that just consumes deep gnomes.
Ah, would this cube be grey by any chance?
Grey green, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was definitely a deep gnome construction that we were in.
Yeah,
So
my mom
you-
used to always threaten me. I used to bet her 5 gold it wouldn't catch me. Never paid up.
Did
So-
she ever actually agree to the bet?
Well, what's a bet if people don't agree?
So you're saying
Nothing.
something about slimes?
Yeah, there's been all these slimes appearing round town.
Trouble?
Well, it's beginning to cause a problem, you see. They're beginning to be problematic.
Yes.
We need to get rid of them, but something about them invading the town and taking over. Your friend there, and he points at Stool, just says it's something about some pudding king. And you hear Stool very excitedly tell you all, "It's the Pudding King! Erik told me about the Pudding King!"
The pudding king.
Are you still talking to Erik, Stool, or have you lost touch?
Stool sort of looks up and goes, "He's a bit distant, but I can still hear him."
I
Can
thought it
you
was
ask
supposed to be
him?
omnipresent.
He says he's kind of busy, but what do we want to know?
Can you ask the Pudding King's name? Like, what's the name of the Pudding?
Stool again, far away look in his eyes, goes by and says, he's just called the Pudding King.
Okay.
He commands the slimes.
Okay. So, did he tell you anything else about the Pudding King?
And he starts to, like, draw sort of on the table, like, a sort of vague directions, and he goes, Erik told me that he's here. And he taps the table.
I see. Thank you.
Here in this very tavern, or just here as in Lincoln?
Here on the map, I
He
assume.
sort of points to the map and says, here on the map here.
Right.
Do we have any way of telling what direction that actually is, physically?
Stool's vague map would probably be able to tell you which direction it was in.
Okay.
Jim Jar, do you guys have any salt?
Salt?
Yeah. You heard of it, right?
We don't really deal with salt. Why would you need it for?
Just thinking. You know, slimes and salt don't mix well.
You are not going to eat the pudding.
I need some salt on it.
Why do you want to eat everything?
It's how you tell things. It's the most reliable way. Either you survive or you die trying.
Okay.
Nal just turns to 13 and just tells her, do not do anything Ishidoro does or says.
I wink at 13 out of like the corner, just like
13 makes this kind of face that suggests she thinks Ishidoro actually makes a lot of sense. But you know, she's like, alright, okay. But I was also going to ask, can I do a lore check to see if she's ever heard of the Pudding King?
Mm-hmm. You have not heard of Pudding King. But as the night sort of gets on, Jim Jar just offers to pay for you to get some rooms tonight because he hasn't seen you in a while from his winnings. So
Okay.
you all
Thank you very much.
rest up.
I'm just going to write down in my notes here, must eat Pudding King.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
I'm so suspicious of what actually happened there.
I think we may have caused another town in the Underdark to cook.
We released another
Yeah,
monstrosity.
We haven't released any of these monstrosities.
Oh, I think we
Escaped
released
from
Erik.
one, we helped half of a city of Myconids escape from the second, and I don't really know what happened with this one, so...
Maybe the Myconids are going to run straight into Glabagool.
Don't tell Stool that.
But what if Glabagool is the real name of the Pudding King?
That's what I thought.
Maybe we should just point the Pudding King at the whole mushroom thing and let them solve it between themselves.
I really need to get like my hands on some salt because salt and slimes don't mix, I assume.
Just have this image of you pouring like a vat of salt down your neck to try and kill this slug.
Oh god.
Well, I was also going to just make like bombs out of it.
That worked quite well.
That's a good
Like
idea.
I'm going to use the dragon spunk and the alchemical H and the salt to kind of create some kind of weird explosive.
That
Some
could work.
serious alchemy that.
Yeah,
I
I
could
have
probably try and pour some magic in there for you as well.
I have a 3, so I'm confident.
Layla is feeling very awkward, so she's trying to sort of hide this shovel kind of behind her back everywhere we go, like very awkwardly. Not only is it like really big, but it's made out of stone and
During the night, 13's going to
Marble.
bother Nal into making
Yeah,
a strap
it's made
for
out of
Layla. Yeah.
Yeah, now we'll use some of the excess fabric from 13's robe to make a strap.
So Layla can carry the giant shovel.
yeah, but it's not gonna make it any less awkward. She still feels awkward carrying it anyway.
It's just this gigantic, like, greeny marble shovel.
Yeah, I don't think
I
it
have-
matches my outfit.
Layla's like, fashion does not comply.
Cold silence returns. The waters lay still, for this week at least. Join us again next week for more of our tale. This podcast is an adaptation of Out of the Abyss, a 5th edition D&D adventure. It was adapted from the original story by Nikoli Popsky. The podcast features Nikoli, Dragon, Shiraz, Freya, Susie Q, Tauno, and Wednesday LeFay. All music was written and performed by Daniel Boström. Artwork was by John Moore. And if you, dear listener, wish to acquire your own sets of finest metal or acrylic adventuring dice, then journey through the Underdark to dndice.co.uk and speak the name Penance RPG at the checkout for a 5% discount off your order. Farewell and Godspeed, for we fear the madness is closing in. Good night out there, whatever you are. Ha 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 ha.